Very welcome here this evening in memory of we're here in memory of Mall Stanford, or Mall Corcoran as we all knew her, Rathmullan locals. So I'd just like to welcome Mally's sister Frances Daly, or Frances Corcoran, and her nieces and nephews, and I see cousins here as well, the Dinnies from Otway, and Councillor Ian McGarvey, who very generously donated money towards this bench and Mally's memory. As you all know, Mally left us terribly tragically and far too suddenly, and she was far too young and far too vibrant. She was a member of Rathmullan and District Local History Society, and a very, very active member she was, as you can all imagine. So at a meeting shortly, not too long after her death, we decided we would have to do something to honour her memory and all she did for Rathmullan. So we decided a bench beside her playground, the beach, her house and all of that would be very, very appropriate. So at long last it has happened, and I suppose we can blame COVID for 1.5 years out of the nearly 4 years that she's gone. So Mally did amazing work for the village, and I suppose her legacy to us is that amazing playground. The joy and happiness it has brought to so many families locally, and to visitors, and to their parents, of course, as well, for the peace they were getting while they were in it. But it's an all-inclusive playground, and it's just a fantastic facility for Rathmullan to have. Her generosity knew no bounds, absolutely no bounds, and again we see it in this playground. So without further ado, Councillor Ian is going to say a few words. Okay?
I want to thank myself and the committee and Rathmullan, and indeed the community, because since I first came to Rathmullan, I had to be brought to Rathmullan as a Wayne, as they're now called, kids. But there were 9 of us coming here on the back of a lorry. My father was fortunate, was able to acquire the lorry. He drove for R.J. Campbell and looked after the lighting plant where they were providing electricity in the mountain at such time. So we came here and we had a great time. And you can imagine him down there with the buckets, me making castles. So you can imagine from then on. I came to Rathmullan then, and I ran the football team in the town, and indeed was responsible for putting up the poles here and lighting the pits as well, and bringing the first stripping cut hut in there that ever was in the town, buying it from Donegal County Council for £50 at the time. So I played for Rathmullan as well, and has had a long association here, and indeed couldn't but compliment the community and how they treated me, and their ongoing efforts to provide facilities in Rathmullan, not only for the benefit of the residents, but indeed for visitors, because they're one of the towns reckoned as one of the hospitality centres. The one thing I would have to say, being here and having this opportunity, to all the young people in the community, go in and listen to the older people talking, learn what they're saying, hear what they're saying, and influence them if you can. Because it's the people like yourselves coming tomorrow will look after all the efforts that they have made to provide what you have here in Rathmullan. Now I think it's very, very important, and I must stress this as well. When a town like this is available to the entire community, as indeed it was to our family and everybody else, and all the towns surrounding, when you come to Rathmullan, always have regard for the residents, always have regard for what you can do to keep the place tidy and acceptable to everybody. Because the efforts they have made to provide facilities, namely for the toilets and that through Donegal County Council, is to me so important. And I, as a councillor, as part of a group, is very obliged to be able to do what I can for the people when I can and wherever I can. So having said all that, I look forward to going forward, and as I've said even here tonight, I'll provide money for the base to set this up properly, and that it will be more or less a permanent recognition, because what we're here to do is to appreciate the work and efforts of one individual in this community and the contributions he made, even on financial gains, to have that playground there. And I was here the day of the opening as well, and I think from memory I was open to John Boyle of Brooklyn, the chairman at the time. So, to all of you this evening, I'm delighted you're here, number one. I'm pleased to have the opportunity and privilege to address you, number two. And I look forward to working with the people of Donegal, that we can make Donegal a place to live, a place to acknowledge, and a place to
respect. Especially those that couldn't be here today. I want to thank the History Society and everyone involved, and this wonderful gesture in Mally's memory. She would have been deeply touched and she would have been honoured. And I just want to thank everyone. And I just think it's in the most perfect spot, overlooking the beach, the playground that she loved behind her, and her family home up above that. So I just want to say thank you to everybody involved, particularly the History Society. Thank you very much. And thank you all for coming.